Good morning, everyone. It's a cold, cold day here. We had like 25 degrees and the water's still running. I forgot to turn on to drip, but it's just still early in the winter. Well, we still have what, fall actually. And it has to be 2 or 3 days really cold before you have to worry about the water lines freezing. So we were all right. Otherwise, I would have gotten up. I know I don't want any busted lines. So, lived here long enough not to worried about buying certain things at certain times. What I want to start this out with, all right, how about we read number 5 first on the family pledge. Our family pledges to strive every day to advance the unification of the spirit world and the physical world as subject and object partners by centering on true love. All right, I'm not planning this, but unifying things in the spiritual and the physical. So, Kentucky is one of those states where most people out in the mountains, this, that, the smaller towns, they're all conservatives, okay? They are. I mean, most of them are. Maybe not all of them, but lots of them are, right? And then we have a couple of cities, Louisville and Lexington, and you got the nuts. The nuts are all there, okay? Yes, yeah, no, not edible. No, they're not edible nuts. Anyway, and again, we had, so it was a funny video, where they had two chickens, huge turkeys, right? Thanksgiving is coming up. So you always have to have someone out there who just, not sure why they're doing that because it's so silly and dumb, but I'm mentioning it. Well, the reason I mention all these things is because one can attack something or one can teach about it, okay? So I'm teaching about it, seeing this, going, I know, as I said, Louisville and Lexington, lots of people there whose mind just doesn't quite function properly because they've never been out in the mountains. They don't know what it takes to grow food, this and that. So it's one thing. So they had these two huge, a sign that says we're all the same with a chopping thing, and go vegan. Vegan, first of all, vegan food. I've had some good vegan food and you can go for it, yeah. A few meals or every once in a while choose, to go for a different style of food, But just because I like Indian food or Korean food here and there and make it at home myself doesn't mean I'm going to have it every day. And I sure wouldn't want to eat vegan food every day. I tried all kinds of different things. I'm a good cook. I can cook with anything, okay? I'm probably a way better vegan cook than any vegan out there that I know when it comes down to it. But anyway, but as far as I'm going to live a vegan style life, no, thank you. They're also not very healthy people, okay? They're really pale. They have all kinds of deficiencies. Then they get on the sweet bandwagon and gain weight. Okay. I'm just saying. Okay, all right. I had to educate at least one of my children about that and say, no, you're not living a healthy lifestyle, and educated my child. Okay, and why and this that. So one thing, as I said, so there's these two huge, and then there's a guy next to it who's curled up like, one of the turkeys sitting there, and how they prepped with already no feathers, this and that. And we're all the same. We're going, you got to be freaking kidding me. Really? My first thought was right away, I wonder what their stance is about abortion. Okay. You know what? When you're out there doing stuff like that, you can't be two-faced. Or you're already losing any kind of credibility. Then the other thing is, I am not against. Let's treat and raise our animals properly, not just for quantity, but quality, right? Yes? Everybody should be for that. But again, that's not what it said. And it was very clear about what it was. And I thought, well, I'll send my coyotes the memo that, hey, you turkeys and humans are the same. Are you getting my drift here? Okay, all right. Which, by the way, they're not making it a distinction. So yeah, okay. They really don't. If they're hungry enough, they will surround you, and they will kill you, and they will eat you. Okay, if they get hungry enough. Has happened here before where I said, our house is surrounded by coyotes on all sides. Make sure you don't go outside. Right? And it was at night too, so it wasn't like, yeah, coyotes see perfectly fine at night. They hunt at night as well. So yeah, anyone here going out there with the pack that was here, about 10 maybe, and they had surrounded our house. We took all the dogs in because no, our dogs, not, that's too many. Why did they suddenly do that? Again, they're only doing that when they're not finding enough food. That only happened one night. We ended up going out on the porch and shot off a couple of shots, okay? And that was it. But as far as taking a chance and going out there and, oh yeah, you know what? They won't eat me, you know? They'll be all right. Okay, I'm sorry. Again, how do these people make any sense? Here's the other thing too. If you want to grow vegetables, one of the most destructive animals out there, or chickens, or turkeys, deer, rabbits, the cute little furry things, right? And they'll destroy everything you got out there in your garden. If there's too many of them, and then, what are you going to do? Put your garden into a dome or something? Not even here I found it's just about not possible to keep wild animals out of your whatever there is, unless you got dogs who won't dig up your beds, okay, and keep things out. Or we have the pigs, for example. They take care of a lot of vermins and this and that, where I don't have to go out there and kill them. They just don't come around right here. But as far as, I've never trapped an animal here, a wild animal, because of whatever. Okay, we trapped some alligator snapping turtles and we relocated them. Okay, well, it turned out that they're very good to eat too. So we did eat some of them. Okay. Oh, poor alligator snapping turtles. You know how big they can get? You know how many we had in that pond? A lot of them. And we had ducks. Okay. Yeah, I had to go and save a couple of ducks. I saw suddenly they were struggling, and I ran into the pond and in my clothes and everything, and I picked up the duck. It wasn't too far from the edge of the pond, and I picked up the duck, and there was an alligator snapping turtle hanging on one of its feet. Okay, so again, so what do you want? What do you want out there? Okay, balance. It's important to have a balance. Okay, you can't grow your vegan food. All right, you won't be able to do that. What are you going to do with all them eggs that you're also not willing to eat? Huh? I don't know, just let go bad? Oh, let the snakes have them. Oh, snakes like. Yeah, you like snakes? Okay, good luck with that in your garden when you start digging in the spring and you come across a whole little nest of copperheads. Yeah, they're born live, and then of course they dig in to snap. And the little ones, you know, I guess they're not going to get your memo either that, hey, don't bite me or this or that. No, they're going to bite you and they're going to shoot everything into you that they have in their fangs because they can't control themselves yet. Yeah? Oh, could be one of your animals that you're having, yeah, a pet, could be one of your children. Oh, okay. All right. I'm just saying, when you're doing stuff out there like that, when people do stuff like that, why doesn't somebody go up and say, oh, I see. What's your stance on abortion? Right? So you have a little bit more credibility. So of course, we're all the same. Right? We're all the same. Having a human laying as I said, like a turkey that's ready to go in the oven, laying there next to a couple of turkeys. Go vegan. Okay. Sawdust. Dumber than a coal bucket. Again, if You're concerned about on how certain things are produced and kept as a life being, an animal. Then, yeah, well, even plants. You see, I include plants in that. Then, yeah, then have a good argument out there and alert people, right? Yes? But that's a fool's errand. Okay? A fool's errand. And it makes you look dumb and stupid. It made them look dumb and stupid and really? Yeah. Anywho, well, here's my teaching lesson on that again, right? Yeah. If you have concerns out there, that, then do it in the right way. Do it in the way that it makes sense, right? So I tell people, grow your own food. Make sure that you grow it without poison, right? No need to put poison in your dirt, because then that's going to deplete your dirt, and then you're going to need more fertilizer. That's also, okay, we don't have poison. We have our own fertilizer here. We have our own dirt. Well, that's just me, right? Yeah. I kind of live the life. I don't just talk the talk. I actually live the life. And, and buy organic whenever you can. Buy less, but buy better, right? Yes? Oh, and then there too, make sure that it's for sure it's organic. Some things can be 10% organic and the rest of it is all whatever, and yet still gets the stamp. All right, just saying. Let's do number 5. Our family pledges to strive every day to advance the unification of the spirit world and the physical world as subject and object partners by centering on true love. Goes right with it, doesn't it? Keep things in balance. Remember, there is a spiritual and a physical component in anything, even raising animals. Raise them properly. People have asked me here, how can you kill those goats, when you raise them? I'm going, what are you serious? First of all, I got canine teeth, okay? There's a reason we have those. So we're meant to eat meat. Then the other thing is, our goats, they had a wonderful life here. Every one of them, okay? Beautiful, wonderful life. And then when it was time, they were always about a year and a half old. So we didn't kill babies, okay? It was time to give back. And with the care that we've given them, then they give the care back to us to sustain us, to nourish us. Yeah. I'd like to see someone live around, as I said again, the message that certain people give out there, to live around about 300 or 400 goats who do just whatever they want. Yeah. You can't grow anything. I don't know what you're going to live on as a vegan. Maybe leaves from the trees or something. Good luck with that. Okay. Well, anyway, just saying. So let's go to 39 in Genesis out of our Jerusalem Bible. Joseph's early days in Egypt. Oh, interesting. Of course, we're also getting into Father has his own way. I'm teaching. People think I'm the one teaching. I said how things fall together. I don't prepare for this stuff, you guys. But if you know the story of Joseph in Egypt, then you know where this is going. Joseph's early days in Egypt, 39 in Genesis. Now Joseph had been taken down into Egypt. Potiphar, the Egyptian, one of Pharaoh's officials and commander of the guard, bought him from the Ishmaelites, who had taken him down there. Yahweh was with Joseph, and everything he undertook was successful. He lodged in the house of his Egyptian master. And when his master saw how Yahweh was with him and how Yahweh made everything he undertook successful, he was pleased with Joseph and made him his personal attendant. How did Joseph suddenly become so smart? What did I say? Everyone's born with a gift, a talent. And we often as parents don't even notice that in a child, what that actually is, because again, the norm is this and the norm is that, right? and on how society pushes people along, right? And yep, so I wonder, did Joseph not did his father not realize? Maybe he was just a shepherd boy, right? How old was he? 17, 18 when he was, I don't know. That's pretty young. Right? We have a 16-year-old here right now who actually won. What was it? Not an office, but he's the one in charge now of the conversation. It'll come to me. But he won. He won. He was in the election as a 16-year-old. It was not. It's not an office per se, but it's a branch of something in the conservation branch, and he won. He was just 16. He's 16, guys. Yeah, and he had the way he was presenting himself and wanting the younger, give his younger generation a chance. And he had this on what he was going to do and how he was going to. Yep, he's still in high school too, and yet, okay. So the position isn't, a full time, every day. This kind of it's just a branch to, right, kind of keep certain things on track, right? Yeah. But yet, 16, he's 16, he won. I love it. I love it. So here's Joseph, right? He finally is somewhere where suddenly his talents are being recognized. Oh, not only that, but he's really good at it. And suddenly, he becomes what? Where at home he was what? Ah, interesting. He also had, though, sounds like God's not permission, support. He had God's support as well. That makes a difference. Right? People can be successful in doing an awful lot of evil stuff out there. Anyway. He was pleased with Joseph and made him his personal attendant, and his master put him in charge of his household, entrusting him with all his possessions. And from the time he put him in charge of his household and all his possessions, Yahweh blessed the Egyptian's household out of consideration for Joseph. No, God probably had some kind of a plan too. I don't think that was just... God was able to be there, right? God was able to be with Joseph. That's what makes the difference. Not, God loved Joseph so. No, Joseph made room for God to be there, okay? That's what it is. That's always what it is. It's interesting on how they try to turn things around here, just like with them turkeys and that dude laying there. Stupid. And from the time he put him in charge of his house and all his possessions, Yahweh blessed the Egyptian household out of consideration for Joseph. Okay, I disagree with that. Yahweh's blessing extended to all his possessions. I disagree with that. Both household and estate. So he left Joseph to handle all his possessions, and with him there concerned himself with nothing beyond the food he ate. The attempt to seduce Joseph. Now Joseph was well built and handsome, and it happened sometime later that his master's wife cast her eyes on Joseph and said, "Sleep with me." But he refused. "Look," he said to his master's wife, "with me here, my master does not concern himself with what happens in the house, having entrusted all his possessions to me. He himself wields no more authority in this house than I do. He has exempted nothing from me except yourself, because you are his wife. How could I do anything so wicked and sin against God?" Although she spoke to Joseph day after day, he would not agree to sleep with her or be with her. What a man! Ole, 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 ole. All right, no more needs to be said. Take heed. Good example. But one day when Joseph came into the house to do his work, and none of the men of the household happened to be indoors, she caught hold of him by his tunic and said, "Sleep with me." But he left the tunic in her hand, took to his heels, and got out. When she saw that he had left the tunic in her hands as he ran out, she called her servants and said to them, "Look at this. My husband brought in a Hebrew to make a fool of me. He burst in on me, but I screamed, and when he heard me scream, he left his tunic beside me and ran out of the house." Well, well, well. She kept his tunic by her until his master came home. Then she told him the same tale. "The Hebrew slave you brought to us burst in on me to make a fool of me. But when I screamed, he left his tunic beside me and ran away." When his master heard his wife say, "This was how your slave treated me," he became furious. Joseph's master had him arrested and committed to the gaol, where the king's prisoners were kept. Yeah, was God with Joseph right there? Yes, he was. Well, we all know what happens next, right? Okay, didn't seem like that. What else would that woman have done eventually? Yes? Yeah. Oh, let's just leave it all up to the one. Okay, some women are just like that. That doesn't mean every woman is like that. Oh, some men are just like, yeah, it's a lot of men like, and very few like Joseph. Yeah? It's kind of, yeah. Well, okay, people can say whatever they want. I think history will tell us, that, yeah. Anyway, so, but Joseph stayed strong. Well, the other thing too, he wasn't quite as vigilant as maybe he should have been. But I think as well that Joseph's time there was done. And actually he passed, Joseph passed an important lesson here. Yes, to not be tempted. Yes, and stay strong. No, that's not my wife. I am not going to do nothing there. Even though that might have been safer. I don't know. So here's in prison now. Right? And that man just believes his wife. He probably knew. It's just, he didn't do anything anymore. Right? This snap. Okay. Saving some face. Yeah, sadly. He probably knew that Joseph didn't do anything. That's what it is. Joseph in gaol. And there in gaol he stayed. But Yahweh was with Joseph. Well, there you go. Yes, see, God could still be with Joseph. Joseph didn't do anything wrong. That's when God can work in your life. He showed him faithful love and made him popular with the chief gaoler. The chief gaoler put Joseph in charge of all the prisoners in the gaol, making him responsible for everything done there. The chief gaoler did not bother about anything but in his charge, since Yahweh was with him, and Yahweh made everything he undertook successful. Interesting. God works in mysterious ways. God can work in ways that we can't understand when, again, the commandments are being kept. If you live a proper life, okay, and understand where your place is, and so yeah, I get where Joseph is there. Surely it wasn't fun to be in prison or anything, but again, you survive. You survive if was Joseph put in prison as a guilty man? No. I'd say the only thing he was guilty of, he wasn't vigilant enough, right? Around that woman, that person. Yes, but in this case, it's a woman. I think people need to be vigilant around other people as well, to not be pulled into suddenly doing drugs, excessive drinking, this, that, all kinds of other things, peer pressure. Oh, you think it's only teenagers that are under peer pressure? I've seen plenty of stuff out there to say, what? Like these, like what I mentioned to begin with, right? Kind of pressure is that on people? I'm going to feel guilty eating a turkey? Are you kidding me? But I suggest kind of look and see, okay, where did that turkey come from? Was it raised at least with some decency and dignity for an animal? Because any living thing deserves that, right? And Danka said, how about we go with a little bit of a smaller turkey, cost the same as the huge one, but this one was actually raised in a really good way. Yeah? How about it? Okay? Yes? No. Just saying. Same with the ham. I was given everything, so I already have it. It was all given to me, and I have to say the ham looks really good. It's an excellent grade 1 ham, and then the turkey. It's a little smaller. It's a half turkey, and it was raised. It was raised in a how do you say it? I'm trying to in a good environment. Okay, I'll say it like that. So feel pretty good. Yes. Now I don't know how my potatoes were raised. I hope they were all raised all right. And what else? The yams. I have a can of yams. I just use whatever I have. The corn. Well, the corn that's. I don't know. I might not have any corn this year just because. Oh, again, I can get it organic and eat it there. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, all right. You getting my drift here. But definitely will do my best to put a good meal on the table. I don't have to be ashamed of or feel guilty about how things are raised, this or that. Yes? Well, some people just don't care. Well, then that's fine too, right? But again, how about teaching people out there rather than just, I said, that was so dumb. I shared it on my Facebook page, by the way. I couldn't help myself. And as I said, I'll give the coyotes the memo out there, okay? If any of them vegans come around, I'm going to send them out there and say, hey, they're all the same. All right, Daniela, I can't help it, okay? All right, well, that's all what I wanted to share today. God's love and blessings always. May He protect you from coyotes and bears and mountain lions and whatever else is out there, right? That, you probably do look the same to them as a turkey does to them, okay? Yeah, all right? And may He protect you, and I will talk to you all another time.